I'm not about to waste your time, but there's one thing I'm going to say, right? You all are probably aware of what's happening internationally right now. The most current news stuff about the war between the US, Israel, and Iran. It's actually the US, Israel against Iran, right? And you all probably heard bunch of stories, especially on TikTok, and about this, and that, and about how we hope and pray that South Africa isn't pulled into it. But I just watched a few clips of Ramaphosa's response, and I wanted to get his point of view, right? But for the purpose of the video, I'm going to use a short. It's not everything. I don't know the whole context, of course, but I want you to pay attention to what he says here, and I want us to think about why it seems as if South Africa is always trying to position itself in this on this pedestal of like the peacemaker type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? We're always trying to, or our leaders are always trying to seem as if we're mediating and promoting peace and stuff like that. I just want you to look at this clip, and while you edit, subscribe.
Africa is already experiencing the impact of escalating conflict in the Middle East, with strains on supply chains and higher energy prices. We are going to be a victim of conflicts that are taking place far away from where we are.
We want this madness to come to an end. And Donald Trump is very busy right now. He's got a war on his hands. And obviously, if the opportunity were to open, we would talk and say, there must be a ceasefire. Dialogue is always the best way of ending conflict and then ending war.
So you would have noticed that he said something about calling for immediate ceasefire in peace, something about how he would participate in a dialogue if asked to basically mediate in this thing. But we've seen it, especially during that conflict to Israel and Palestine. Remember how he or South Africa was so involved in that? Listen, I'm not against or trying to pick sides here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. War is war, and the loss of lives isn't a positive thing. It's going to be negative. It's going to affect a human being. I don't give it. I don't give it. I don't care where you're from, bro. As a human being, the loss of another human being is going to kick you inside somehow. But after studying Cyril Ramaphosa for the past few months, not in depth, I've noticed how this man seems as an individual who's really good with his speech. This person is able to talk. He's a sweet talker. You know what I'm saying? He's an academic diplomat. You know what I'm saying? No, scratch that. South Africa is trying to position itself as that peaceful nation that is always trying to involve themselves into these conflicts overseas and internationally. But I'm just like, when are we going to deal with the problems in South Africa? Listen, I'm not trying to be selfish. If anything happened in South Africa, I mean, and if someone out there could help or lend a helping hand, you know what I'm saying, I would be grateful. Do we even have a choice? You know what I'm saying? I guess what I'm asking here is, why does it seem as if South Africa is that country that is always lending a helping hand to countries that are going through the most difficult, you know what I'm saying, stuff, which is a good thing, right? But it's almost as if our issues within the country aren't being addressed or level of attention. Like, for example, if you think about Gaza and Palestine, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I'm I mean, I may be selfish to speak like this or to say something like that. You know what I'm saying? I may come across as, stupid in the sense that there's stuff that is happening in this country. Yes, we cannot deny that there are stuff and programs, youth programs, and and NSFAS as well, if you consider that stuff that is trying to change the country. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, there's a lot that's happening in this country. You know what I'm saying? If you take into consideration the Madanga Commission, ad hoc committee, all these things, you know what I'm saying? The Sondo Commission, all these things, allegations of corruption, and I'm just like, I feel like it's almost like South Africa is that kid that's so talented, right? But they spread themselves out too thin. You know what I'm saying? South Africa is almost like that kid that's good at track and football and like academics, but they also try doing like hockey and soccer, and they try to like be good at math, physics, life science, and you know what I'm saying? All these things, you know what I mean? And we neglecting, or rather we jack of all trades but master of none. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, what I'm trying to say is, we so focused on getting a diplomatic stance or a pedestal out there, while our country is literally rotting, you know what I'm saying? To its core, you know what I mean? We are so focused on what's happening outside that we're not really paying attention. We only speak of the stuff that is happening in South Africa, the problems, the unemployment, the crime, GBVF, I'm gonna repeat that. All these things in this country, but we it doesn't seem as if we're doing enough. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't seem like we're doing enough. It doesn't seem like enough is being said, you know what I'm saying, about these problems we're going through as a country. But we are able to jump, or let me put it this way: our leaders are able to jump when stuff happens in Iran, when Palestine, or when you know what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know, brother. I don't know. I just feel like, yo, this is obviously a complicated situation. It's the way, what did I say about fallacy, or not fallacy? What am I saying? About how the person tries to offer solutions. It's usually based off of the current circumstances they're going through, you know what I'm saying? So I'm basically not trained to look beyond the issues I'm going through, you know what I'm saying, the problems I'm going through. So that may be the case, but I know for a fact that I'm not the only South African out there, or the African human being out there, who feels this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we paying attention. I feel like we should be focusing as much as we can to bettering South Africa, you know what I'm saying? And then, I don't know. Am I selfish? Yes, I'm selfish. Yes, I am a selfish individual. Yes, I said it there. I am selfish. I feel like if I was in power, you know what I'm saying, I was gonna focus all my resources, because I was gonna focus all my resources to bettering South Africa. It's not gonna be 100%. It's not gonna be 80, probably not even 50, but focus all my energies to making sure that the future generations live nice. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that the South Africa is safer, South Africa is cleaner, habitable. You know what I'm saying? Rather than splitting up, okay, some of the energy to, let's better employment, and then, some of it to, the military, and then a whole lot of our resources to help out in Iran, Palestine, or wasn't the SADC mission SADC mission at some point, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of issues about how some of the soldiers are not even paid there. It's a thing of the past. It's happened. I'm also concerned as to how many of our soldiers have been deemed prepped or ready for war, and it's alarming. I think it's below 50%, 30 even. I don't know, bro. What do you all think? Tell me in the comments. Subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. Otherwise, tell me, bro, what do you think? What do you think? Should we be focused on the war that's happening right now, even though it may pull us in? I mean, if it's a World War III, and I feel like all of us are going to be pulled in eventually, right? Or is this the right time to focus on bettering South Africa and prepping for whatever's to come? You know what I'm saying? I feel like we should put God first, nonetheless. But anyways, see you next time.
It's your first election. Exciting, isn't it? Who are you voting for? Okay, all right. Are you registered to vote? You're not really into politics. Okay, it's fair enough. But what are you into? Transformers? Pokemon, you fucking child? Sorry, but this election affects you in ways you couldn't possibly imagine. But also in quite a few ways that even your pot-addled teenage brain can manage. Yeah, soaring youth unemployment in a job market saturated with unpaid internships, filled with jammy little fuckers who have daddy helping with the rent. Tuition fees have tripled. No help with housing if you're under 21. Huge cuts to youth services and youth mental health services. Fucking brilliant.